Hey guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Let's Talk Elvis.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the things that happened from my side of the story. There's been a lot written and a lot said about what happened to me, but never from my side.
Today we're going to be talking about Elvis magic and what it is, what it means to me, and some of my favorite examples of Elvis magic that I've seen in my own life. If you've never experienced something like this, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're probably thinking to yourself, Mary, you sound crazy, girl. You sound crazy. There's no way any of this is true. You're romanticizing it. You're like, whatever. And I get it. I know that, it kind of does sound a little bit crazy. It's always hard to imagine things happening to you that you haven't personally experienced or gone through, I think. Oh man, I don't want this video to be like all like serious and stuff, because honestly this is such like a happy topic, but it's hard to make videos like this. I feel like I've wanted to make it for a while, but I've always kind of put it off because I feel like whenever I talk about this with people who are those kind of people who like don't believe in stuff like this, or think you're kind of weird for talking about it, they make you feel a certain way and they make you kind of feel bad about yourself, but you know what, literally I'm trying to break free of that. Elvis has honestly taught me a lot in that area, where it's like, if you have something to say, if you have something that you're passionate about, if you have something that makes you happy, girl, and you want to share it with somebody else, then share it. And whoever wants to listen to it and interact with it and think about it for themselves will do so, and whoever doesn't won't, and like you won't be able to change that. So this is something that makes me happy to talk about, and something that I love talking about with other people who get it. So this might not be the video for you. All of that to say, this might not be the video for you, and that is okay. Yeah, I guess like this kind of stuff you either like believe in or you don't, kind of thing. That sounds like so serious, but like this is not a serious thing. It's just like something that makes my heart smile. So I don't think I can give a definition to what Elvis magic really is. So I'm going to tell you guys a couple of examples of Elvis magic in my life, and then you can kind of decide what it means for you. So one of my favorite Elvis magic experiences was during Elvis Week 2021. And it's one of the first real like experiences of this that I had, and one that I always think of when I think of like Elvis magic. But one of my best friends in the whole world, Sophia, you guys know her probably from YouTube or Instagram. Sophia loves Elvis, but we met each other through our Instagram accounts and quickly became like best friends. And so our first chance to meet each other ended up being Elvis Week 2021. So we were super pumped. We both ended up going to Marlowe's the night that we got in, and we saw each other for the first time in there.
Okay, you ready? All right, let's go this way.
Stop it! And it was so cute. Like, she came from around the corner and I was there and she was there, and we like ran into each other and like gave each other a hug, and it was so much fun. And then we were both staying at the same hotel as well, so we were like, oh, do you want to like go down to the pool? Do you want to like hang out, and she was like, yeah. And then we were like, okay, well, like, what's your room number, so we can, like, I'll walk you up to your room, or you can walk me to mine, and then we can just like grab stuff and go whenever. And she told me her room number, or I told her mine, and I was like, literally stop right now. I'm right across the hall from that. Like, we were literally neighbors right across the hall from each other in a hotel room. It was like a Parent Trap moment when we both like stood at the doors and like we were like, stop, like we're neighbors. So we every single morning we'd be like, okay, like ready to go to the morning walk up. We would walk right out of the rooms and like we would be right there. Like, we spent like late nights talking in the hall on the couch and stuff because we were right by each other in the hotel room. And I'm just like, literally Elvis magic. Like, Elvis put us right next to each other. It couldn't have been more perfect, like, for us to just like see each other all the time and like hang out in each other's rooms and just vibe and have a good time. Being the first time that we like were able to hang out together in person, it was so Elvis magic. I don't know what else to say. Elvis for real said, let me make them neighbors so that they can hang out as much as they want. And it was so oh, I just have like the biggest smile on my face thinking about it, because like when we both were like, stop, like that's where I am, and it was just like such a fun moment where we were like, Elvis did that. Okay, another experience. Girl, oh my gosh, this one's so crazy. But I was driving to school, okay, in my car, driving to school, and every single one of my favorite Elvis songs was coming on that day. And you know those times where it's just like you have your songs on shuffle, but somehow like every single song that's your favorite comes on? That was that day for me. So every single Elvis song that I was like, oh man, I love this song, was coming on like one after the other, and I was vibing so hard on my way to school this day. And on this day, I had been missing my earbuds, my little like plug-in earbuds. I'd been missing them for like literally 2 weeks. I had no idea where they were. I literally couldn't find them anywhere. I checked my room, I checked my car, I checked like everything really thoroughly, my backpack, everything. And I just couldn't find them anywhere. And I was like so bummed because I use them all the time. Obviously, I listen to music literally 24/7, walking to classes and stuff. And I couldn't find them, and I was so bummed. And like this particular day, I was like, every single song is coming on that I love, and I just wish like I could like continue the vibe like on the way to class, because I have a long walk to classes on campus. And so I was like, dang, I literally spoke these words as I was getting out of my car. I was thinking it, and then I spoke it out loud to myself. I was like, dang, I really wish I could find my earbuds. And then I kid you not, I stepped out of my car, looked down just to like make sure I had everything, like my bag and my like lunch or whatever that I had with me. So I looked down to make sure I had everything. At my feet, girl, laying at my feet were my earbuds. And explain this to me, because I park in a huge lot, okay? College students coming in and out every single day, huge commuter lot. I park in the same spot every day. And on this particular day, I step out, my earbuds are laying in the parking lot. And if this is where they were for 2 weeks, if they were really laying there for 2 weeks, no, they weren't, because they didn't have a scratch on them, not a mark of dirt, not like literally anything. And I knew they were mine because I had marked my earbuds. I have 2 different pairs. I lost the other one. I don't know where she is either. But the one that I was looking for, those pair, I had a little purple mark on, so I could differentiate between the 2. And I knew they were mine because they had the mark. And I was like, there's absolutely no way that just happened. I just stood there and I was like, that was like some genie magic. I was like, what was that? And then I was like, girl, it was Elvis. It was literally Elvis. And like, say what you will, you know, you could just be like, Mary, that was a coincidence. Or like, Mary, they fell out of your back pocket 2 weeks ago and they've been laying there ever since. But it's like, they were in a parking spot. They were in a parking spot untouched. I was like, there's no way that a car couldn't have rolled over them or somebody couldn't have stolen them. Like, they were just laying there at my feet. And I was like, that's insane to me. And I literally looked up at the sky and I was like, it was you. It was literally him. It was him. Elvis magic, period. So this is one of my absolute favorite stories of Elvis magic, I would say. I took a trip to Graceland in 2021 in May. So kind of like off season. I was by myself. I was having some troubles with this trip. And I was just like not enjoying myself, which was just really bumming me out, because how do you not enjoy yourself like when you're in Memphis? Like, I'd been waiting for it for so long and I was so excited, and then just things that were happening that were out of my control that were like making it like really difficult for me to have a good time. And so I had gone like through the house the weekend before. So I was there for like 5-ish days or something. And I think it was like a Tuesday or something. And I had gone through the house on Saturday. And it was like so rushed. I was not by myself during that visit to the house. And so I didn't like have like control over what I was like, what pace I was going at, what I was seeing, and all this other stuff. So I was very, very rushed, and it was just like the vibes were so off, and I was just feeling like so bummed, because it's like people like us, like, you understand, if you don't live in Tennessee and you have to travel for this, like, it's hard. And it's not just like, oh, I'll come back next month or something. It's like, girl, this is like a once a year, twice a year if you're lucky thing. So I was just really upset that it wasn't like I wasn't being able to enjoy myself. So I, by some stroke of luck, had a free day to myself where the people that I was with, people that I met up with down there, like, were doing their own thing, and I kind of like had a free day where I was like, okay, how do you want to spend this? You could either be sad about it, that you had like a kind of sucky trip up to this point, or you could like really make the most of your last day here, because it was the last day here. So I was like, let me spend the money on another ticket to go through the house and do the museums and everything, but by myself this time. Let me just take the day, get up really early in the morning, take the first tour ticket down, and do the tour by myself. So that's what I did. I got myself up, I took the shuttle from the hotel down to the mansion, bought my ticket, you know, all this other stuff, and I put my earbuds in. They're the earbuds, put those in my ears and played like my little like slow Elvis playlist, and I went through the house by myself. And when I literally tell you guys that I knew there were other people there, because there were people on my tour bus that like drove up. There was a group of people waiting to go in like the front door with me. Like, I know there were other people there. I was not the only one on this tour. But the way that it worked out, there was a bunch of people, you know, when you first walk in the house, the first room, not the kind of iPad, if you take the iPad, I did not take the iPad on this day. I just had my earbuds in to listen to music. But if you take the iPad, the first room it takes you to is the living room. And so everybody went there first, and I was like, okay, let me like mix it up a little. Let me go to the kitchen first, and the dining room. Let me go to the dining room first. And so I stayed there, and like immediately, it's like a switch flipped in my head and in my like world. It was so weird. It was almost as if it was like an out-of-body experience or something. Like, I couldn't tell you, I couldn't explain it to you if I tried. But basically it was like genuinely everybody got sucked away. That's what it was like. Because I was standing there in the dining room, I was like literally like picturing all the stories I had heard of like Elvis in this room and all this other stuff, and I was like really vibing. My music was playing, and I turned around to go to the living room and nobody was there. So I was like, okay, period. They kept moving. They went on with their tour, but they never came to the dining room. So I was like, where did they go? So I went to the living room. I looked in there, like listening to my music. I like took my time. I went to Gladys's room. I went to the kitchen. I like took my time, and every single room I was in, I was alone, completely alone. I was like, that is so weird. But after a while, I stopped thinking about it. I was like, okay, period. Like, don't even worry about it. Like, you are by yourself. And I won't go into like too much detail, because I actually wrote about this. I kept a diary that trip, and I actually posted that diary entry from that day and like what that whole trip by myself to the house was like. So if you want to read it, I could link it in the description if you're interested. But basically, I spent the entire day with Elvis. That's exactly what it was like. It felt like if I would have looked to my right at any given point, he would be right there. He felt so close to me that day, where I was like walking through his house with him, like, and he was right there ready to tell me about what happened in the racquetball building on June 7th, whatever. Like, it was so, I've never felt that before, where he just like felt so close, and like just like he was right there, like I was going through with my friend, and it was so crazy. And I got to like the meditation garden. Nobody was out there. I like was sitting on the step, just like with my listening to like his music, and like listening to like the fountain like water trickle, and it was absolutely incredible. I've never experienced anything like that since, and I honestly don't know if I ever will again, but I know it was him. Like, he for real took me on a private tour that day. He was like, you want to hang out? Let's hang out. And that's what it literally felt like. Oh, it was so, I could like get emotional talking about it, but it was so beautiful. And like for a day, I didn't feel like I had to miss him, because I feel like he was right there. And he was just like the friend that I always felt like I had in him was just right by me. And it touched me more than like, that was like the best day of my life. It immediately made up for every bad thing that happened to me on that trip. And it was incredible. And if I could live that day over and over again forever, I totally would. And then another little thing that happened, I stopped at 5 o'clock. So I spent like the entire day there, through the museums, through like the house, everything I did. And then at 5 o'clock, I went to like Minnie Mae's Sweets or whatever to like get ice cream, like treat myself on the way home. And I gave them my card to pay. I just got like a cone. I got like banana ice cream on a cone or something. And I gave them my card to pay. And they were like swiping it. They're like, oh, like the card reader isn't working. Like, you just take it. Like, we apologize. Take it. It's on the house. And I was like, Elvis just bought me ice cream. Elvis bought me ice cream to end the perfect day. He literally took me out for ice cream. Again, say what you will, call it coincidence. I know it's not, girl. I know it was him. It was insane. And like, you cannot deny something like that if it's happened to you. Like, you know, it's just not like anything else. And that's like one of my favorite stories ever. That's like one of my favorite experiences I've ever had. Okay, this video is so long because I talk so much. So I'm just going to say one more thing. I have like other experiences written down and things like that, but to keep this video literally below like an hour, girl, that is so embarrassing. But I just wanted to say that I think one of the biggest examples of Elvis magic in my life are the people that he's brought me to. I cannot imagine my life without my friends that I've met through him. Like, I just can't. I would literally be lost. I would not be myself. I would not be as happy. And the funny thing is that I didn't even know I needed them until I had them. But Elvis has brought me to my best friends in the entire world. People that like understand me, accept me for who I am. You know, some people that I can like appreciate the guy who brought us together with. It's just so special, and I will never be able to thank him enough for that. It's like experiences like that where I just can't like deny that like he's like my guardian angel. Like, I say it all the time, but like, he's brought me so many amazing golden blessings in my life that I would not have if it were not for him. And I know that he's looking out for me. Like, I could sit here and talk about so many things, so many signs, so many feelings I get that I just know it is him. I know it's him. And it sounds so crazy to say if you haven't experienced it, but I know there are people out there who have. And so that's why I feel like I'm not alone in like this video and these topics that I'm sharing. And like, I know that yes, there are going to be people out there who like think like, okay, she's crazy. She's literally crazy. And hey, I would think the same thing too if it didn't happen to me. And maybe someday it'll happen to you and you'll get it. But I know that there are so many people out there who know exactly what I mean when I say Elvis magic. And that makes me so happy. But so much of my life, so much of like the happiness that I feel, I think I owe to him, which is so bizarre to say because it's like people are like, oh, he's dead. He's literally not. He is literally not dead. He is here. He's so alive and he's working every single day. You can't deny it. And I'm just so lucky that I get to experience it. I remember telling one of my friends recently that when I was little, I used to pretend I was somebody else all of the time. I go to school for acting, so it could be blamed on that, and partially I think it could be true that way. But growing up, I would always pretend I was somebody else from a movie or from a TV show or from a book. I was never Mary, and whenever I wasn't like obsessed with something, whenever I wasn't like in another world, whenever I wasn't like in my head like another character, this sounds so weird too, but I feel like some people relate to this, but like if I wasn't like adapting the personality of another person, I was like, I'm bored. Like, my life is boring. My life makes me kind of lonely. I'm like, there's nothing like exciting that made me excited to like be me, which sounds so weird and like deep for no reason. But I just told one of my friends recently that like for the first time in like my entire life since I found Elvis, I am so happy being me. I'm like, I don't want to be anybody else because my life has been so, I've been so happy. Like instantly every single morning I wake up with just joy in my heart and such sunshine in my heart because of him and because of the things I have because of him, because of the things I have to look forward to because of him, and just all of the blessings that he's given me, my friends, my, you know, what I love, my passion, my literal passion in life. Like, it's just like, I am so happy. I'm so happy. And I hope that everybody can feel that kind of happiness, you know, having somebody to love that much and having a passion that you love that much, that it just instantly brightens even the worst day that you might be having. I can put on one of his songs and I feel him in my heart. And I'm just like, okay, you're fine. Like, you're not alone and you're fine. And I feel like if everybody could feel that way, the world would be a better place. Okay, so this video was so long. I'm really not gonna apologize. I'm not gonna apologize because I loved doing this video and I love talking about this stuff, and I know that some of you guys do as well. But listen, I would love to hear from you guys, especially after this video. If you've experienced Elvis magic in your life, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you're on YouTube if you want to. And then if you want to follow me over on Instagram at myboy, I post more often over there if you're watching this over there. Or if you just want to like go follow my content over there. We have a good time over in the Elvis community on Instagram, so I'd love to have you over there. All right, guys, I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye.